Please welcome Rance MacFarland.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for attending this year's Municipal Arts Society Annual Summit. And thank you to MAS for inviting me to speak about one of my favorite topics. Design build in New York City. Is there value? In my opinion, yes. First off, what is design build? True design build. Design build is a method of project delivery in which one entity, the design build team, works under a single contract for the project owner to provide design and construction services. This process gives ownership one entity, one contract, and one unified flow of work from initial concept through completion, thereby reintegrating the roles of designer and constructor. Design build is an alternative to the traditional design bid build project delivery method. Under the latter approach, design and construction services are split into separate entities, separate contracts, and separate work. Across the country and around the world, design build successfully delivers both horizontal and vertical construction projects with superior results no matter what the project type. In more detail, with traditional project delivery, the owner or the owner's representative must manage two separate contracts. Ownership becomes the middleman, sometimes settling disputes between the designer and the contractor. In this scenario, as we all know, the relationship between the designer and the contractor can easily become contentious, and the parties can blame one another for delays and cost overruns. With true design build, ownership manages only one contract. With a single point of responsibility, the designer and the contractor are on the same team, providing unified recommendations to ownership, mostly regarding changes, and those changes are addressed by the design build entity as a team and not used as excuses. Where are we with design build in New York City? The design build method of project delivery dates back to the construction of the earliest and most famous structures in human history. Throughout the millennia, up to only a few hundred years ago, virtually every project was built as a design build project. In New York, this includes the Brooklyn Bridge, most of New York City's subway station, and most recently, the Tappan Zee Bridge rebuild. As with many things, especially in New York City, what was once old is suddenly relatively new again. It's a new option for owners seeking viable alternatives to the traditional concept of design bid build. The use of design build delivery in New York City has been hampered by state laws and professional ethical rules, but recent legislation in New York may drastically increase the potential for design build in the public and private sectors. For the past several decades, New York's design build has enjoyed increased yet limited use and acceptance. WICS laws requiring separate general contracts for plumbing, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and electrical work, and other laws have restricted the use of design build in New York. Further, the New York State Education Department, which oversees the professions of engineering and architecture, has taken the position that design build is not legally permissible in New York. In contrast, the New York City of Appeals, the highest court in the state, has opined that design build is legal in New York under certain circumstances. With regard to certain public projects, the law in New York has been changed with the passage of the 2011 New York Works Infrastructure Fund Act, signed into law by Governor Andrew Cuomo in December of 2011. The IFA represents a significant legislative expansion of design build's availability. Although the law expired with no extension at the end of December 2014, the bill has been again introduced in the governor's 2015-16 budget and is currently under review. Under this innovative legislation, authorization to utilize design-build for projects was granted to a limited number of state agencies for transportation and infrastructure projects. Subsequently, the governor's proposed budget for 2015-16 hopes to further expand the design-build system and make it available to virtually all New York State agencies, with the exception of New York City and state universities. Why design-build? The Design-Build Institute of America has identified a number of advantages to design-build over traditional design-bid-build. This simple but fundamental difference saves money and time by transforming the relationship between designers and builders into an alliance which fosters collaboration and teamwork. Some of those advantages include design-build creates one single source of responsibility. One major advantage of design-build is the ability to provide ownership with one single source of responsibility for all aspects of the project. Clients have a single company they can hold accountable, no questions and no finger pointing. By building a collaborative team that includes the consultants, the architects, builders, subcontractors, suppliers, as well as ownership, the design builder can ensure that ownership's goals are met. Design-build saves time. As a fully integrated team, we can significantly reduce the amount of time from the inception of a construction project to its completion. Teamwork reduces rework and redesign. Fast-tracking allows for the design-build team to overlap design and the construction phases. Design-build delivery reduces pre-construction time by streamlining the bidding and buyout process. Design-build saves money. 80% of the cost of a project is driven by subcontractors and suppliers. In traditional project delivery, they do not get involved until the plans are complete. By then, it's too late or it's too costly to incorporate any cost savings that they possibly could offer. As a part of the design-build team, this input is provided at the start, and it can be incorporated into the design at no additional cost or time delay to the project. The Building Smart Alliance estimated that as much as 50% of the cost of a construction project is waste. In the book, The Commercial Real Estate Revolution, Rex Miller estimates that the total cost of the total cost of a project, 12% is spent on wasted material, 7% is wasted due to poor planning, 10% is wasted due to rework and avoidable collisions between trades, and 8% is wasted by the production, transportation, and pricing of construction documents. In a quick comparison of design-build versus design-bid-build and design-build CM at risk, design-build shows significant advantages, with unit costs being 6.1% lower and 4.5% lower, respectively. Construction speed, 12% faster and 7% faster, respectively. Delivery speed being 33.5% faster and 23.5% faster. Cost growth, 5.2% less and 12.6% less. And schedule growth, 11.4% less and 2.2% less, respectively. Design-build is intended to be a highly collaborative, fully integrated process that is built on trust, mutual respect, teamwork, innovation, and creative problem solving. Design-build unleashes the power of the team to deliver projects faster, better, for optimum cost, and for the best value for the money, for the time and the effort involved. Ownership finds that when design-build is done properly, their level of engagement with the team is more meaningful than experience with other delivery methods. design build in New York City. Is there value? My opinion is yes. Thank you for your time.